When last we left, Donna and the Doctor, and Wilfred, all mayhem was breaking loose, and we quickly find out why. It seems that in Soho, 1925, the creator of the first television broadcast has sent his assistant to locate a suitable subject to be filmed. Now it seems the subject needs to be resilient and not alive, because the process of creating television at first would also cause the subject to heat up to the point of bursting into flames. So, the assistant goes to a local toy shop run by a toy shop owner who not only has a fake German accent and who's mildly racist. The guy happens to be of Indian descent, but who also is extremely sinister for no good reason, even though he's played by Neil Patrick Harris. I wonder who this could be. So, the guy picks out a puppet by the name of Bill. Now, the toy shop owner tries to get the guy to purchase all the puppets, the whole family, going on about how the babies will be sad, the wife will be sad, and all that. Really laying it on thick, but the guy is only interested in the one puppet. So, he makes the purchase, heads back to the lab, and they do the first broadcast. And the puppet slowly deteriorates under the hot lights. And the assistant could swear when its mouth popped open, it laughed. 5 notes, 1 octave higher than the previous. Strange. Cut to the present, and the Doctor quickly finds out that this chaos is being wrought because for some reason everyone on Earth thinks they're right. Doesn't matter what, they all think they're right. And it's having disastrous consequences. Excuse me. For one thing, this one guy who he talks to believes he owns the road because his taxes pay for it. And cars should just get out of his way instead of running him down. The driver of the car thinks the opposite thing, so he tries to run him down. Also, it seems that someone bearing a striking resemblance to the toy shop owner is dancing around and talking with a funny French accent. Meanwhile, Unit steps in to try and keep things under control, getting the Doctor and Donna to Unit headquarters, which looks suspiciously like Avengers Tower, and getting Wilfred back to his house. Sadly, Bernard Cribbins passed not long after the second episode of the specials was filmed. So they have a dub over of him saying, "Look after Donna," and we see him from the waist down with a body double. So long, Mr. Cribbins. Rest easy, old soldier. Meanwhile, Wilfred Mott, his character, is still very much alive, for now. So, he goes home, and the Doctor and Donna go to Unit headquarters, still headed by Kate Stewart and Shelley, the wheelchair-bound scientist lady. But no Osgoods for some reason. I guess they're field agents somewhere. So, the Doctor, after meeting up with Mel Bush, who after hitching a ride with some aliens, headed back to Earth to start that companion support group, where I think Kate Stewart recruited her to UNIT. So, after a bit of sleuthing and investigating, they find that this weird signal is causing people to, like I said, think they're absolutely right about everything. So basically, the worst aspects of internet culture. Even a news reporter lady who we've seen before denounces these armbands that actually block the signal, or at the very least keep everyone's brain stable, when all she would need to do to feel better would be to put the thing on. But no, it's a planet of internet trolls and Karens. The worst planet ever. But thankfully, the Doctor quickly deduces that the signal is in fact the head of Bill the Puppet laughing at humanity, driving them crazy, but laughing in a very specific way. 5 notes. Ha 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 ha. Something like that. And the signal can't be removed because it's in every device. Just like the one you're watching this video on. So, after realizing that traveling with the Doctor makes you immune to such things, or maybe it's the meta crisis, I don't know. And after a quick demonstration by Kate Stewart of what happens when you don't have an armband, she starts accusing the Doctor of invading her privacy after he asks if she's alright, and starts talking about conspiracy theories, since the wheelchair-bound lady can do some standing and some walking, but not a lot, and there are too many redheads in the room, and the Doctor, being an alien shapeshifter, or face changer, that also gets her ire. But then they get the band back on her, and she apologizes to everyone. So, they figure that this signal, or they figure out what the signal is, and they even figure out where it came from. The first TV broadcast in the 1920s. So, they figured out where the broadcast came from, but now they need to figure out where the broadcast subject came from. So the Doctor and Donna head to Soho in the 20s and visit the toy shop, where they instantly get a creepy vibe from the shop owner, whom they both recognize as the guy who was dancing around with the French accent. And after a bit of quick back and forth, where the owner comments on the first toy being a rock in the shape of a ball, having been picked up and thrown from one caveman into another caveman's head, and the first caveman thinking, oh, that's fun, highlighting how humanity's worst aspects are its only aspects, which is a lie. And while my theory was the Master had somehow saved himself and join forces with the Wire, perhaps saving it, with the intent to betray it later. I was way off. Turns out, it's the Celestial Toy Maker. Although, he actually dropped the word Celestial from his name. Now he's just the Toy Maker. Having not seen the Doctor since their confrontation during the Hartnell era. So long ago that 3/4 of that story are missing episodes. Although they will be animated for DVD release this year. So, yay! Meanwhile, the Toy Maker decides to play appropriately with the Doctor and Donna, luring them into his realm, where they have to face victims of his games in the past, or from the past, in the form of a marionette with the still living head of the assistant from before attached, and the puppet family of Puppet Bill. The voice of the wife, which should have been voiced by, let's try that again. The wife being voiced by a Scotswoman who I think should have been Karen Gillan, but I guess she wasn't available. And Donna has to wrestle both her and the babies. And she succeeds in defeating the mom and getting the babies to back off. So go Donna. Eventually, the Toy Maker lets the Doctor and Donna back together and forces them to watch a puppet show, or should I say a marionette show. It talks about 3 of the Doctor's previous companions. Amelia Pond, no mention of Rory, and how she was sent back in time by a weeping angel, but she was able to live out her life with Rory. And then there was Clara Oswald, who got killed by the bird spirit thing, but she's still currently gallivanting around the universe with Miss Me in that other TARDIS, living her last second of life as long as she wants. Then there was Bill Potts, who got cyber converted, but thanks to the pilot, who took the form of a star-eyed girl, Bill's consciousness still lives in a new form. And all the Toy Maker could say to that is, well, that's all right then, sarcastically. And so, his back against the wall, the Doctor challenges the Toy Maker to a game. Cut the cards, which he loses. But since the Doctor beat the Toy Maker and the Toy Maker beat the Doctor, now best 2 out of 3 is invoked. And so the Doctor, after he and Donna escape the Toy Maker's realm, which collapses into a box, they head back to the present to warn Unit. Now, on the way there, the Doctor realizes that spilling that salt back on the spaceship and invoking a superstition in the void between the universe, this universe and the next, in a place where anything could be possible. That's what brought the toy maker here. So he has got to figure something out. Because even though it wasn't his fault, he still feels guilty about stuff like the flux and what happened to past companions who came to a bad end. And he's running himself ragged, and Donna can see that. So they make it back to unit headquarters. Meanwhile, unit has been setting up a big laser cannon to deactivate a satellite which connected the whole world via the internet. Hopefully that will stop the signal and get everyone to calm the heck down. But right after they succeed in that part of the plan, the toy maker shows up with a big musical number, with the music being a Spice Girls special called Spice Up Your Life. Perhaps you've heard of it. Perhaps you've tried to forget it. And it involves the toy maker turning soldiers into balls, bullets into flowers, and dancing Kate Stewart into a wall, painfully, and nearly causing Mel to spin into the floor. Then, after teleporting around the room in a garish band uniform, he knocks the operators of the laser cannon off the building, just in time for us to hear them splat. Oof. And he takes control of the laser, fires a warning shot into unit headquarters, and declares that humanity's gaming potential in just their very existence is too much for him to pass up. Even when the Doctor makes him an offer, come with him to the void between universes and play games with him for all eternity. They can be celestial. But the toy maker refuses, because he wants Earth. So the Doctor invokes his best 2 out of 3, and the toy maker declares that there needs to be a third Doctor for him to fight, or for him to play with. So he shoots the Doctor with the laser, triggering a regeneration, and declaring that maybe he'll just cultivate more and more Doctors for him to play with. Because as Mel and Donna say their goodbyes, the regeneration goes sideways, forcing them to literally pull the Doctor apart, creating a completely new Doctor. The 15th, played by, and I swear this is how his name is pronounced, Ncuti Gatwa. And so, this new Doctor is introduced much like this one time with Rory. There are soldiers all around, and he's in his pants. The pants being underpants. So, after a bit more back and forth banter, the game is chosen. Catch the ball. And so, the Doctor and the toy maker play the most hardcore game of catch in history. With the toy maker eventually losing, despite the 15th Doctor getting a little too into the game and the 14th Doctor having to say, same side, same side. The toy maker loses. But he doesn't go down without a fight. Earlier, he mentioned that he even got visited by the Master, who challenged him in order to save his own life. But the Master lost and became locked inside a gold tooth worn by the toy maker. And that tooth fell out as the toy maker was literally folded up and put inside his box. And someone, we don't see who, but someone grabbed the tooth, followed by the ominous laughter of the Master throughout the ages. So yeah, now there are 2 Doctors. And somewhere, Troughton and Part3 are looking at that like, what? But since only one Doctor can pilot the TARDIS, the 15th Doctor, using the little bit of energy left over from the toy maker, does a bit of a cheat. He uses a Harley Quinn style mallet to knock a second TARDIS out of the first. And this one has a jukebox. So, the Doctor, our Doctor, now passing on the responsibilities of constant travel to this new Doctor and his TARDIS, our Doctor, 14, and his TARDIS, for now at least, retire to the backyard of the Noble family, and we find out that Wilfred is taken to hunting moles on their property, which is stymied by the Doctor giving the moles force fields. And everyone else, Mel included, settles in for a celebration dinner, not only of the Doctor staying himself and giving the responsibilities of the Doctor to a new guy, but also when the Doctor was elsewhere, Kate Stewart offered Donna a job at Unit. So now the family can afford to upkeep their nice house, so Donna's financial future is secured. It's pretty good. And so our Doctor lives happily ever after, and the role of traveling madman with a box passes on to a new guy. What will happen? Who will he meet? Will they be friend or foe? And will he be able to live up to the legacy of the Doctor, even though his regeneration was different than usual? We'll see. But for now, this is Mr. J signing out and reminding you, when some crazy person with a police box asks you to go traveling with them, remember, there is a lot of running involved. Once again, here's to 60 more years of Doctor Who. Let's hope we're all still around for the 100th anniversary. Allons-y.